Oh, maximum overdrive. Oh.
I don't like.
That didn't work.
I don't like Jonny.
That did not work. That did not work. Maximum overdrive. Oh. 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 No, you suck at it. Maximum overdrive. Oh. Oh.
Tonight, we pull the motor. I hope. We'll see. So what we're gonna do here in a second.
I'm stuck in the car. The door's stuck.
Johnny's gonna die. He's
Okay.
gonna live in this car. So what we're gonna do here in a second is, I think we think we got this engine harness freed up. We're gonna go under the engine, but we're so tired. We're gonna go to the engine bay, see if we can pull the engine harness out. If we can, we're gonna jack the car up, drain the radiator, yank the radiator out, disconnect everything else, pull the engine out. So.
And then I get to smash.
And then Johnny gets to smash the
HVAC
hell out of
smash.
stuff. Stick around, guys. Okay, so we just wanted to verify we could pull that main engine harness out, and we could. The reason I was having a rough time with it was because I was trying to pull it the wrong harness initially. There are two that look very similar, but once we got everything taken apart, I noticed that it's the one that plugs directly into the ECU with the male pins, or the male plugs, that is the engine harness. So it's really just two bolts in the engine bay, or two nuts in the engine bay, and then disconnect it from the back of the ECU, and you can pull the whole harness out. I'm going to go ahead and set you down, and we'll take the hood off next by removing these, what I can only assume are 12 mil bolts inside here, and then we'll pull the hood struts off, and then we'll throw the hood into the freeway or something. Okay, so we took the hood off, as you can see. We've jacked the car up a few inches and put it onto cinder blocks, which is a terrible idea, I think. I don't recommend doing it, but it gets it up a little bit so we can at least drain the radiator.
Actually, if anyone's done this on YouTube before, and you have any pros or cons about putting a car on the cinder block, let us know.
Let us know if you're still alive. So what we'll do is we'll drain the radiator, get the radiator out, loosen up everything else that we can, and then we will jack it up a little bit more, put jack stands everywhere, and then get to work pulling the motor. We pulled the petcock on the radiator, and nothing came out. And we pulled the hoses off, and
Nothing came out.
So that's good. GoPro died, but we haven't really accomplished anything yet. So we're taking all the hoses off the radiator. We are unbolting the cooling fan, or the clutch-driven fan, or trying to at least, so we can access the hoses on the bottom of the radiator. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. Got the radiator out. It is jacked up. We're not going to save it, we're just going to pitch it. Interestingly, it looks like, you can't see that, on the bottom of the, it's a two-core radiator, so it looks like it's got an oil cooler built in, as well as a coolant cooler. So when I put it back together, I will probably put on
A remote oil cooler.
a remote oil cooler, which I actually have, and I've had for a long time and I've never used, so.
External mount.
Yep, so let's put that on. Now we will take out the something. Okay, so we have removed everything we can. The headlights, the headlight buckets, almost all broken due to the accident. We've removed the radiator, but as it sits right now, the AC condenser is all warped and jacked up. So we're gonna cut through. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna narrate. So we're gonna cut through the actual core support, cut it off, pull the condenser out, and that'll give us a big open hole to pull the motor out. So, we cut off the top of the core support, we got the condenser out, we cut the hard lines. There's a big hunkin' wiring harness here that we're gonna have to move out of the way, I think. But, all in all, we've got a lot of room now to pull the engine almost straight out. And it's gonna make the process a lot easier. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this if you have a good chassis. In fact, this will be a lot easier because you won't have to do this if you have a good chassis. But, because this chassis, because the front end is wrecked, I'm gonna have to front half the car anyways, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, getting closer.
So Phil's just been finishing up taking off the fuel line and the return fuel line from inside here. We've already removed the AC condenser, and we're getting ready to go under the car and remove the drive shaft, transmission mounts, and the motor mounts, as well as the exhaust. But before we do that, Phil's going to jump inside the car and remove the top of the automatic shifter mechanism.
The brown. Okay, so I got the shifter out the wrong way, but it came out. The best way to do it would have been to get into the car, and it's just one bolt after you undo the 4 bolts on top and a couple of clips. So it comes out relatively easily. It's a lot easier if you do it correctly. Now we're going to take a little break, then we're going to jack the car up even higher, undo the tranny mount, drive shaft, exhaust headers, and motor mounts, and I think we're pretty well ready to yank the motor out, so stick around. Okay, done with a little break, sitting on some of the plastic and it hurts. We're going, oh gosh, Johnny's going to rip the serpentine belt off apparently, and it will probably turn out terribly. Wow, look at the flex on that thing. Probably soft. Anyway, Johnny's going to rip off the serpentine belt in the most terrifying way possible. We're going to take off the power steering pump, and I think we've got everything disconnected in the engine bay. After that, we're going to go under the car, and we're going to jack up the car more, put a billion jack stands under, because don't just leave it on cinder blocks in the car. And then disconnect the drive shaft, transmission mount, exhaust headers, and then engine mount. Alright guys, so we got pretty much everything from the top of the car that we can disconnected to pull the engine. We got the car up on a bunch of cinder blocks, which is a horrible, terrifying nightmare. Don't do it.
You're rednecking South.
It sounds like a terrible idea. And then we shot the exhaust
TV blaster.
Yep, with PV blaster. So tomorrow we're going to go out and remove the exhaust. We're going to
Drop the train.
We're going to disconnect the drive shaft, drop the tranny, disconnect the engine mounts, and then pull the motor out. So we made progress. I feel pretty good.
Oh, an HVAC system.
An HVAC system. We're going to take that with a hammer.
Yeah.
Or a shovel. So we made progress. I feel pretty good about it. Both pretty exhausted, but it's been a good night of work. So you guys have a good night. Come back to the next one. So hopefully the next video you'll see an engine recover.
Sweet.